scientific observation. And Bowie is not different. Bowie is a Taiwanese. And when he made some money in chemical industry, immediately he thought how we can use his money to promote society, promote science, and promote young scientists in Taiwan, and give them opportunity to develop their career and develop their ability and creativity in the best possible way. And for that reason, and so he created the LCY Foundation. And the LCI Foundation does all kinds of things. They provide scholarships for many Taiwanese students to pursue further studies in top universities around the world. And also the BRC. The BRC is very special. And that was the reason, this exactly overlapping my interest and my philosophy of what I should do with my life, particularly at this stage of my career, to help young scientists, to attract young generation to science, and to help young scientists to develop their career, to give them an opportunity. And when I met Bowie, it was obvious that it's not only a chemistry, but it's a click chemistry that between us. And we decided to pursue this idea of BRC together. And what you see here, just one point in time, because it's going to be BRC-4 next year, next year, next year. We're going to keep, like every good experiment, you keep as many parameters as possible constant, and you change only one parameter or two. So we keep the date, we keep the location, we keep the format of 120 invited people, and the structure of this meeting, and 3-day symposium, 3 to 5 in January, etc., etc. And we changed, of course, the people from one year to another, giving the young talents in Taiwan to interact with the top people in the world and perhaps pursue their career through this opportunity. So with this, I would like to Bowie to
Good evening, Dr. James Liao, 廖正之院长 Dr. Qi-Hui Wong, 龚启慧院士 and Dr. Woody Kainan, and all the distinguished guests and speakers and participants from Taiwan, Korea, Japan, Malaysia, Israel, Europe, and United States. Welcome to this much delayed BRC. For the past 2 years, we've been playing hide and seek with COVID and the related government restriction. We wanted BRC in 2021, but that was not possible. And it is with much regret that my freshman year organic chemistry professor at MIT, Dr. Barry Sharpless, had to cancel at the very last minute because of infection. But he sent his regards, and we will get him back either next year or sometime soon in the future. I guess he has promised he will come. And also Professor Ben Berenga, also Professor Omayagi, could only join us through the internet because due to the uncertainty of COVID quarantine policy in Taiwan back in the summer, because they couldn't decide whether they could come or not. And only over the last weekend, a few more participants had to cancel due to infection. So we have best wishes for them, and hopefully they'll recover soon. In order to understand the origin and the purpose of the Bowie Research Conference, BRC, I would like to give you a very short introduction of myself and my family business, LCY. I'm the group chairman of LCY, and LCY is an eponymous entity founded by my grandfather in 1915. And LCY are his initials. We started out as a very simple forest product company in northern Taiwan in 1915. Now we are a specialty chemical and electronic material company. And I'm the group chairman, sort of semi-retired, but I'm currently working on pivoting the company to a more emphasis on semiconductor enabling and health tech enabling chemical material. Throughout our journey from a low-tech lumber business to today's more sophisticated activity, the common threads have been chemistry and the related innovation and science. I, myself, is a wannabe chemist. I only published one paper with my master's degrees in chemical engineering at MIT, and compared to many scientists here, they have hundreds of papers. I only have a few patents, and I have been a businessman for the last 40-some years. And believe me, I haven't forgot my love for chemistry. I still believe in the magic of chemistry. And if you want to find out the reason I founded this BRC, it actually was my 60th year birthday gift I gave to myself in a very nerdy MIT way. My birthday is actually a few days ago, and I couldn't possibly get everyone here 2 days after Christmas, so we decided early January is a good idea. And I have to thank Woody. He encouraged me to make this a yearly event, so I'll have a birthday party every year. I have been tremendously privileged to work with a group of very talented chemists and engineers over the last 30 years. And one thing many of them had told me was that they only wish they could have been benefited from more international exposure early on in their career. In business, we bring Taiwan and Taiwanese product to the world. Through BRC, I hope, and I would like to, bring the world to Taiwan, especially the young scientists here. And with the help of two successive chairmen of BRC Scientific Advisory Board, Dr. Chi Wei Wong and Dr. Woody Kainan, and our organization team led by Dr. Liang Lo, I think we have arrived at a winning format for BRC. Very much like Gordon Conference, we like to sort of copy them. We have formal and informal interaction between young and more established scientists. But believe me, with much, much better accommodation. You don't have to stay in the dormitory room in the rustic woods in New Hampshire. Here in Candian, we have a beautiful beach in the dead of winter, hopefully offering some respite for those traveling from frigid climates. Please enjoy the sun and surf while you can here. You can go out between sessions, but you have to stay in the session. Finally, I would like to thank all the students and speakers for sparing your very valuable time to attend this meeting. I wish you would have a stimulating and pleasant stay, and hopefully the conference would exceed your expectation. Thank you.
James is already president of Academia Sinica for 6 years. He exceeded Chi Wei Wong, who served 2 terms on that position, and they keep this amazing institution in the highest possible level. So thank you very much. And
Chairman Lee, Woody, and President Wang, and distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. It's a great pleasure to be here to give you a short remark in this opening session. And this is the second time I was invited to this conference. But I met Bo Wei more than 10 years ago when when I was still at UCLA. So his support for education started there. Okay, when I was a professor at UCLA, he already sponsored one of my students from Taiwan. At that time, we discussed how to promote science in Taiwan by selecting the best young scientists to selected schools in the United States and hopefully attract them back to serve in Taiwan. And this idea began to grow into BRC, as he just mentioned, as a nerdy way of celebrating his birthday. But it's a wonderful way, I think it's a wonderful gift to not just Taiwan, but all chemistry field in the world. This year, the topic is Frontiers in Molecular Engineering. And this term actually was coined more than a decade ago and was adopted by many chemical engineering departments. Our UCLA department has already changed to Chemical and Biomolecular Engineering department. And there are molecular engineering schools setting up several places. Although everyone has slightly different definition of molecular engineering. But as Woody said, everything is chemistry. If you want to do anything, touch the real world, it has to go to chemistry. So engineering molecules become a necessity. As we have already seen in the two keynotes today, now people can make just about anything you can draw on the board. Okay? And the challenge is how to make that useful. Okay? And the application is tremendous. We can imagine that such kind of molecules can have strong application in biomedicine, in energy, and more efficient computation in the future. And these happen to be the topics that were extensively discussed in the conference held a few months ago in Brussels, in the Solvay conference, which celebrated 100 years of Solvay conference. There was the meeting where I met Omar Yagi and Ben Faringa, who regret they could not be here. We have a nice conversation there. And these are also the directions that we currently have pushed strongly in Academia Sinica. So these are materials used for net zero emission technologies. These are the materials used for counter-pandemic technologies. And more importantly, these are the materials potentially useful for quantum computation. These happen to be the three main projects that we are pushing in Academia Sinica. So what you are doing is not only fundamentally important, but it has tremendous potential for future impact that can solve many, many important problems for humankind. So I strongly encourage you to keep this enthusiasm and absorb as much as you can during the conference. And wish you have a very successful and most importantly, enjoyable stay in the next 3 days. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Bowe, James. So I just want to say a few words about, not to repeat too much of the BRC, but what we would like to do to promote this series of meeting to become not only well-known in East Asia, but worldwide. And I think we're in the right direction. And I have a criterion for that. I already told my colleagues. When I'll know that I'm successful, we are successful, when people will start cheating and lie and tell other people, yes, I've been in the BRC. I was invited to be in the BRC, where the truth is that we're not. So that will become make it successful. There are not many meetings like this around the world. Probably the most, well, Boy mentioned the Gordon, but I think the most closer inspiration we got is from the Birkenstock meeting, which is going on in Switzerland for more than 60 years now. And this is somehow a conference that has strict rules, very strict, like the people in Switzerland, they keep strict rules, not other parts of the world. And there are all kinds of rules, like you don't know who is coming until you arrive at the site. You don't know who's coming, you don't know the program. You just make a commitment to come. So it's very interesting, and also the meeting there is not too many lectures. It's a whole week, but every lecture is 1 hour, and then discussion another hour. So it's 2 hours altogether. So there are some things which are interesting, some we can accept, some we prefer to change a little bit, but the nature that is developing here, and the nature of Taiwan, and the environment, and what we see around is really fabulous. It's outstanding, and it contributes to the special character of this meeting. And I'm sure that anybody who's coming here will remember this event for many years to come. And for some of the young people, I hope it will be a turning point in their career. I don't know how many, maybe 10, I'll be happy with even 5, but perhaps 10 people, this will be a turning point in their career. Because from here they will start something that will see the results perhaps 10 or 15 years later. So thank you very much for everything you've done, Norway, and the team. The team is amazing. So much work and so much dedication all around the wheel. I'm not used to this because I'm coming from Israel, and Israel is a very chaotic environment, okay? Everything is done in the last moment, everything is done sort of half-baked, and we keep changing things while moving. This is not the case here. I mean, these people are already working on this for the last year, and they started already BRC-4, which will be here in January 3 to 5, the same day. So thank you very much for your help and dedication, and we'll see some of you in next year. Thank you.